Good morning and welcome to Buddha's in Your Landfill. I'm just pumped up and ready to go. I'm just jumping in this with no idea where we're going to go, except I do have a seed idea because yesterday we talked about Kaepernick as the Nike hero, and a hero is a rebellious hero. I mean, the whole idea of Kaepernick is that he rebelled against the status quo, against the authorities, and dared to rebel and speak his mind and speak his conscience and speak his word, you see. That's the rebel. And it goes all the way back to Satan. And I mentioned that the Islam's interpretation of Satan I like. You know, both Islam and Christianity and Judaism all come out of the Bible. And the same cosmology, the same mythology is the mother of these three religions. And so the idea of Satan is the rebellious angel. He disobeyed God and got sent to hell. But in the literature of the world, Satan is always the most interesting character because they're individuals. See, the rebel is a unique individual. He will have good qualities and bad qualities, but above all, he's unique. He stands alone, you see. So that's the idea of standing alone. If you don't stand alone, then you are obeying the group. You're obeying the Father, God. You're being a good son, a good daughter. You want to be just like Dad. Or you're the rebellious son, the rebellious daughter. And you are what Dad is not. It's kind of like the Republicans during Obama. Who are you? You ask the Republicans. Well, we're not Obama. So that whole idea of good and bad it is the neurosis of the American psyche. You want to be good, but you want to be bad. So how do you become good and bad? They're opposites. How can you be good and bad? They're illogical incompatibilities. You're either good or you're bad. You're either white or you're black. You're either a male or a female. How can you be male, female? Oh, that's transgender. You see, so this whole idea of logical opposites is a problem because life is ambiguous. Life is good, bad. So life isn't all good. Life isn't all bad. But we like to make it so. So let's take a look at our hero here. To be an American is to rebel. The whole country. The Declaration of Independence was a rebellion in writing of a existential principle of individuality. The European, and I get this from Joseph Campbell, the mythology of the European, the European mythology is pagan before Christianity came in. And the pagan mythology was the belief in your nature, in your individuality. So you get the knights of the Round Table, who are all individuals. The knights are metaphors for individuals. The monk or the priest is a metaphor for the obedient son. So you got the rebel, the knight, the pagan knight, and you got the obedient Christian who obeys God and the church and the laws of God, you see. And you got the rebel. So you got these two opposites here, or dancing together, that creates European history. In the East, there is no rebellion. It's all obedience. It's all obeying the Dharma. It's all obeying the laws of your society, your caste, your duty, you see. The idea of unique individuality has never existed in the East. And so that's why, and so communism is an Oriental mythology. That's why we're so antagonistic towards communism, because we feel like it destroys individuality, which is the primary value of our European Western society. But there's a conflict here, you see, because there are two commandments. One commandment is be a rebel or be bad. And the other one is obey, be good, be a good son, be a bad son. So how can you be a good and a bad son, a good and a bad child? How could you be both, you see? So unless we solve this problem individually, we're going to be neurotic. Unless we're able to transcend this duality and solve it in our own nature, in our own life, in our own struggle, in our own trials, in our own crucifixion, we're not going to achieve the resurrection of being one, that is two. You see, if I'm two, if I'm good or bad, this is going to create a feedback loop. Oh, I'm good. No, I'm bad. If I do this, I'm good, but I don't feel good. If I do bad, then I feel guilty because I should be good. You see, I can't do one or the other because there are the one that is two. You can't be good because that eliminates the commandment to be a rebel, to be a unique individual. You see that? If I'm going to be a unique individual, then I have to distinguish myself, separate myself from the herd. I got to be an Apple, a Mac man, not an IBM man. I got to have an Apple. I got to get a Mac, you see. To be a unique individual, I got to wear Calvin Klein. Oh, I got to get a tattoo. I got to get a nose pierce, you see. I've got to do something to separate me from the good sons, from those who conform, from those who obey and don't assert their individuality. I have to assert my individuality. But how can I do it and still be good? Well, the American consumer culture has solved the problem. You just buy a product that makes you feel the rebel. You get a tattoo. You get a rebellious cigarette. You expose more skin than the other people. You stretch the envelope. You go a little bit further than step out, you see, but not too far, just a little bit. You step out a little bit. And then then you create a fashion for them. You wear your pants at half-mast. You know, it's fashion, you see. Products, they're all about solving the problem, the neurosis of being good, bad. So, you see, if I get a tattoo, I can be bad. But I'm still good because I belong to the group of tattooed people. The irony is that if everybody gets a tattoo, then the only way I can be bad is to not have a tattoo. So there you go, you see. So you can see this dance of the rebel is always trying to be bad, but at the same time being good by belonging to the bad group. So you maybe join a motorcycle band, a group, you see. So you become the wild one, but you obey the laws of the wild ones, you see. So you're good. So obeying the law is good. So you get into a group with its own laws. The mafia has its laws. You're good if you obey those laws, but you're bad because you're different from the rest of society, you see. So these are rituals where you solve the dilemma of how to be good, bad. But they don't solve it, you see. They become a compulsive ritual of always getting the next fashion that promises you to be unique, you see, or the new product. Oh, look at that! I've got Nike shoes, you see. I'm a rebel. you see. Or whatever you do is that to be bad, you have to join a bad group or a rebellious group, you see. That way you can belong to the group and be separate from the bigger group. You get to eat your cake and have it at the same time. But that's not true individuality. True individuality comes about naturally when you solve the dilemma of the good-bad split mind. When the true individual is one who transcends good and bad, and who accepts and can rest in the ambiguity of good-bad. So the true individual is good-bad. Good/bad. That's ambiguous. That's why your great individuals can't be pinned down. They're mysterious. They're an enigma. They are good-bad. But they rest in that because that is the source of their creativity. When you are ambiguous, when you're able to hold these two opposites in your mind at the same time, that is a creative act. The creative act is a leap that transcends the duality of good-bad, of morality, and you become good-bad with no apology. You become good-bad with no need to rationalize or defend yourself. You are just who you are. I'm good-bad. Depending on the situation. It doesn't mean I'm morally bad. It means that I'm not conflicted. It means that I'm not torn by this impossible incompatibility of these two commandments. One or the other. You can't be one or the other and satisfy both commandments because you have to obey both. These are imperatives. Be unique, be your true self, and at the same time, don't be your true self. Belong to the group. Be the group, be the self of the group. Be like the group. Don't be like the group. You can't do both at the same time. So people do one or the other. But since the other has to be obeyed, it becomes unconscious. It becomes a demon. It becomes, in other words, if I'm good and I don't realize and accept the bad, my uniqueness, then I'm going to maybe get caught in maybe I'll become a pedophile, or maybe I'll get caught in a public bathroom, you see, being bad. And then, it was my mother-in-law she was a good Christian Baptist lady, but she was a secret smoker. So she would go to the bathroom and open the window and smoke, you see. She was sinful, and she loved it. It was a delicious sin. She was bad, you see. But her image, you see, her projection was all good. But it was like the hospital gown that's open in the back. The hospital gown is open to the bad. So that one little cigarette, you see, solved the tension of she was good bad, you see. Think about that. Thanks for dropping in.